The following episode will contain spoilers. You have been warned.
You're listening to Cinema IRL, the podcast that throws you into the movie and asks the question, what would you do? Today, Amber and Scott are covering a dark comedy masquerading as a love story in Twinless. Let's unpack the buried secrets and awkward foot massages. And now, Cinema IRL.
I wish I could switch places for just one day.
What would you do?
Put yourself in my shoes.
How do we handle this?
What would you do?
Put yourself in my position.
What would you do?
Now it's your turn.
I am pissed off.
Why is that?
So we're watching this movie, and I am putting together this wonderful fun gag about how I ate my twin in the womb, and I felt their pain, but it was like a big joke. And then he freaking comes out and makes the exact same thing. I'm like, damn it. I can't say that now.
Well, it's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, I probably did eat the twin. I mean, really, I'm too much as a person. Just in general, I'm just too much. So I figure that's probably because I ate a twin, and I'm just two people. Maybe that's why I'm a Gemini. Maybe we all eat our twins. I don't know.
Wow. I kind of feel like that's the end of the episode. I don't know where to go from there.
Yeah. 47 seconds. We're done.
Okay. Alrighty, folks. Welcome to today's episode. We are talking about the film Twinless. Two young men meet in a twin support group and form an unlikely friendship. Roman and Dennis both search for solace and an identity without their other halves and soon become inseparable outside of the group. But here's the kicker. Dennis doesn't have a twin, and he's actually responsible for the death of Roman's twin. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
Spoiler.
So, no, he's not responsible for the death. If you're gonna walk out into the street and not look, you're responsible for your own death. It's not like he was trying to lure him out to get hit by a car.
Okay.
I mean, so he was a catalyst, but he was not responsible.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the reason Rocky, Roman's twin, stepped out in the street is because basically Dennis and Rocky had a one-night hookup.
Yeah, that was a little more graphical than they normally just graphic.
There was a lot of butt action, a lot of thrusting, a lot of naked butt thrusting.
Yeah, I did not realize there'd be as much pounding as there was.
Yeah,
there it was.
It was a pound fest. And Dennis really liked Rocky, but Rocky apparently was, he was dating around, playing the field, and
well, yeah, and that's the thing. We don't know if that was like
another date or a boyfriend.
Yeah, was he cheating? Was it just whatever? I mean, I am not a member of that community. My understanding is that they tend to be a little bit looser on.
Okay, let's not make any generalizations.
Well, no,
here.
just on labels and stuff in general.
Anyone can be looser on labels.
Yes.
So the guy that Rocky was with wasn't his husband because we see him later in the movie, and there's obviously it wasn't a husband or any legal partnership or anything. But anyway, Dennis follows Rocky and sees him with this other guy, gets jealous, gets out of his car and starts yelling at him. And Dennis steps back to talk to him, steps into the street without looking both ways and gets hit by a car and dies.
Clunk.
Yeah. So since Rocky has a twin, Roman, Dennis starts following around Roman and ends up in a twin support group where Roman goes. And then Dennis is like, yeah, I have a dead twin too, in an effort to put himself in the same environment and create a connection with Roman.
He seemed like a really good guy up until we realized what the hell was going on.
Yeah, so the rest of the film is based on Dennis kind of crushing a little bit on Roman because not only does he likes him and they're good friends, but also too, he looks like Rocky.
Yeah, he sees Rocky.
Yeah, so we see this bonding over two guys who have lost their twins, but Dennis is harboring this deep, dark secret who eventually his coworker finds out when his coworker starts dating Roman. Are you guys confused yet?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of things to get put together on this one.
There was in addition to all of the naked butt thrusting, this actually had a lot of funny moments in it.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. And actually a lot of really good what would you do? So suppose you had a one-night hookup with someone and you were messaging them saying, oh, we should get together, which is what Dennis was doing with Rocky, and Rocky didn't respond. What would you do? What is your line in how many times you contact someone after one night and move on once they haven't responded? So that's my first what would you do? What would you do if someone didn't respond?
So for one, as you might know about me, I've been known to give a good wall of text.
Oh my gosh.
But
yes,
here's the thing about me.
You're the Berlin Wall of text.
I tend to put it all in one text. And I think that actually matters because I can say everything I'm going to say in one text and you can say everything you're going to say in 10 texts and it's the exact same thing, but I don't look desperate. The 10 texts looks desperate.
The wall of text is kind of intense.
It can be intense, but it's not desperate. When you see that the all the different bubbles,
it's a lot.
That feels.
It's not you're right. It's not desperate, but it is a lot.
That feels more desperate. So I try to get most everything out that I want in like one text, so that I can wait a good while before sending another one.
Okay, but it goes back to my question. You send a text. It doesn't matter if it's a short text or a wall of text. What do you do if the person doesn't respond?
Okay, so
the romantic interest.
So find out if you found out on the first date whether or not this person is a texter or not, because some people just aren't. Like they might pick up their phone and check it, and like you might get a response that day. You might get a response in a day or two, and some people it's glued to their hands, and you write, they're going to write back. So you have to determine who that other person is and set your expectations accordingly.
Well, it also goes back to the unspoken rules of dating. So they met at a diner and very quickly went back to for all the naked butt thrusting. And
so much naked butt thrusting.
And obviously Dennis is like he's in. Like he wants more Rocky. So
yep.
So in that case where you've had this night with someone and you really want to see them again and you send that first text, whether a wall of text or a short text, how long, what would you do? How long would you wait until you send another text? Because he's trying to get some input from people because, you know, he sent 3 texts and then 5 texts and he's like, you know, what's okay? I don't know.
So I actually kind of had, I won't say rules, but guidelines on this. If I had what I felt was like a really good date, if the date ended at a reasonable hour, I might consider sending a short text that evening, saying something. But if it ended later, then like the next day, just, hey, had a great time, would love to maybe do it again. And then you just, I don't believe in the wait 3-day rule or whatever. I think that's stupid. Because people should communicate, but then you kind of have to sit on your hands because if you don't, you look desperate, and that is never a good look. So let's say we have our date on Sunday. I text on Monday. I'm definitely not texting back again before Wednesday, probably not before Thursday, probably on Thursday. Like that's probably when the 3-day rule comes in. And this, I can tell you the Thursday text will be longer than the Monday text.
The Monday text was already a wall of text.
Well, no, because it's always short.
Well, you said it's everything that I would say or someone would say in 10 texts.
Yes, but that's, I'm not trying to convey a huge point. If I want to see somebody else again, it's, hey, had a great time, would love to do it again sometime. Like that's nearly boilerplate right there.
You've never written anything that's short, ever.
Girl. If there's one thing I freaking should know, it's first date. How to navigate around a first date.
Okay.
So yeah, and see if they text back. If not, give them a couple. Now, if you know that they're somebody who's an avid texter, I would actually consider going Monday and then texting again on Tuesday. But oftentimes you're not going to know. So wait till Thursday, send a longer one to make sure that they understand, yeah, very interested.
Dating tips with Scott, everybody.
Then I might, a couple days after that, send another short one. Just, hey, want to make sure.
Hey, girl.
Just wanted to make sure you're getting these. And if I go 3 at that point, because at this point now it's been like 6 days, I'll wait at that point probably 4 or 5 days more. And then I'll just send something like, okay, I guess at this point I kind of have to take a hint because it's been a minute and you've not responded. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good luck in your search.
Okay, so that was a lot. So let's move on to the next thing, and I'm going to oversimplify this a little bit. Suppose you had a one night hookup with somebody, and they die in this thing that actually happened in the film where Dennis confronts Rocky, and then Rocky steps into the street and dies. If you had a chance, and this has been a theme in other films as well. What if that person had a twin? Okay, in this case, obviously Dennis was gay and Rocky was gay and Roman was straight. But just for the purposes, let's just saying everybody's into everybody. What would you do if there was a twin?
I can tell you not what Dennis did. What Dennis did is covered pretty well in a Radiohead song.
Okay.
It was creepy.
Oh,
Very creepy. Yeah, no, that's like, I think it's fine if you come out and say, hey, listen, I knew your brother. He
came back to respond to me and he got hit by a car.
I knew your brother. I understand you're not, but I figure as a twin, you probably share qualities, and I enjoyed qualities in him. So I'd like to see maybe if there's any form of a friendship.
Well, and in this case, later in the film, we see Dennis meet the guy that Rocky was with when Dennis was yelling in the street. And obviously Dennis was terrified that the guy would recognize him as the guy who was yelling at Rocky when Rocky stepped in the street before he got hit by a car. But that never really blew up. But
yeah, I figure there's something on the cutting room floor somewhere on that.
How do you, because if in that instance, you're going to have to lie, either lie intentionally or lie by omission as to how you knew Rocky. Because he knew Rocky because he had slept with him and then, yelled at him in the street, making Rocky turn back, essentially, to have a conversation with him. And boys and girls always look left and right before you step into the street. This is actually something I've talked to Scott about, of how nobody does that anymore. They just walk into the street and expect either it's jaywalking or at a crosswalk and just expect people to stop. I never see people look left or right anymore. And I don't know if this is a generational thing or just a stupidity
thing. An entitlement thing. Yeah, they just assume people are going to stop. And for the most part, their entitled asses are right. The problem is sometimes you might
be dead right.
Well, sometimes you might run into someone like me who, and mind you, I'm not saying this on a make a point type situation, but I, as you know, am a little on the ADHD side. And I can sometimes hyper-focus on things. So let's say I have that left arrow and I go to turn and I've got the right of way knowing that the pedestrians should not. I might turn and not really look. And
that's not good.
It's not. It's not.
Do better.
One of my fears is that I end up in jail for manslaughter.
Oh, gosh. Okay, well, if you know this is a problem, why don't you fix this?
Well, I do.
This is concerning.
I do kind of try to.
I didn't realize if we were in the car, every time we went left, I was potentially running the risk of you being incarcerated and
well, how many times have
somebody.
You said, do you see that person? And
I didn't realize this was a left turn thing.
60% of the time, I do see them.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this was an enlightening conversation. I'm glad we had this. I remember when I was a little girl, I remember walking into the street or at a crosswalk, and my grandma, was it my grandma or my mom? Okay.
It's your grandma. I know
that.
No,
not the purse. Not the purse.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm going to say.
Okay.
You don't know me. I can't remember if it's my mom or my grandma. I actually think it's my mom now that I think about this. But I remember having a situation walking into the crosswalk and not looking, and me saying, well, I'm in the right, they're supposed to stop for me. And my mom saying, well, you could be dead right.
Yeah, you could be in the right and in the dead at the same time.
Yeah, you could be dead right. So, yeah, and that's always stuck with me, and I always look both ways.
Yeah,
before you
and
cross the
I
street.
actually do say that as well. It's like, listen, I can be right, but if they can be wrong and alive, and I can be right and dead, and I'd rather be them.
So another interesting what would you do in this film is midway through, Roman meets a coworker of Dennis's, and it's a coworker that Dennis is kind of annoyed by, thinks she's a loser, but she's a perfectly delightful
Well, I don't think
woman.
I don't think he thought she was a loser at first. I think he was just he was okay. I mean, he was okay with her. Like, she was what she was, and it was fine. I think it was.
Well, when they went to the birthday party, though, and Roman hadn't met her yet, and he goes, just so you know, Marcy's kind of a loser. This party might not be that great. And then, of course, there's the house is brimming with people, and they're all having a great time.
I
and everybody
feel
loves
like
Marcy.
that was a preemptive shot, though. I feel like he was saying that to keep him from trying to show interest in Marcy.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Anyway, so where I'm going with my what would you do is basically Roman likes Marcy and Marcy likes Roman, and they start seeing each other. And Marcy discovers through a little bit of discomfort and then a lot of research that Dennis is an only child, that he has made up this twin that died, and he has been deceiving Roman. So what would you do if you were Marcy and you had this information? And at this point, you are in a relationship with Roman, and you have found this out because Roman and Dennis at this point are good pals. They've been hanging out for like a year and a half.
Marcy did the nice thing by Dennis by letting him know that she knew and giving him the opportunity to tell him. But that's the problem. That's an impossible tell.
Well, she says, tell him or I'm going to tell him.
If I'm being honest,
Yes, be honest. That's why we're here.
Well, for one, if I'm Dennis, I go ghost. I literally...
I thought there was a chance he was going to kill her.
Oh, no, I didn't think so. It
was just kind of a weird film. It could happen.
That dude had creepy eyes, but he did not have the muscles or
You don't
anything
need
else in him
muscles
to
kill
back that
somebody.
up.
You don't need muscles to kill somebody.
Well, okay, I don't think he was going to kill...
You just need a good reason, and he had a good reason.
No, honestly, it doesn't end well for you. I hate ghosting situations, but I think this is a situation where you ghost because there's no good way out of this, and you just say, "Listen, tell Marcy, don't say anything. I'm going to literally disappear. Just don't say anything."
And the thing is Dennis had spent so much time with Roman. Like Roman was his best friend. Like they were tight.
Oh yeah, no, that's a really tough ghost.
Yeah,
but
okay, so
that's the thing. Like when you start down this path of deception, if you're discovered, you're screwed. Like when you're in his position, like as long as you can keep the lie up, you're fine. But if you're discovered, you're just nuclear bomb blown up.
Okay, so I asked you what would you do with Marcy, and you told me what you would do if you were Dennis. So what would you do if you were Marcy?
I would have done the same thing. And I would have
Give
said,
someone a chance to come clean?
Yeah, I would have said, listen, dude, I know what's going on. Because here's the thing. Like, Marcy knew Dennis, and I don't think she saw Dennis as a bad person. I think she probably saw him as somebody who was made a bad decision. A very bad decision. So if she thought he was a bad person, you just tell Roman and let it go that way. But he's a good person. I'm going to give you the chance to deal with this, but it's going to get dealt with one way or the other.
Yeah, because she ultimately caught some discrepancies in Dennis's story with things she knew from work Dennis versus what she knew about Dennis and his relationship with Roman. So ultimately Dennis does come clean with Roman. Roman beats the living blankety blank out of him. And
well, like he probably shouldn't have sucked toes.
Okay, context.
It was giving him a foot massage.
Dennis was giving Roman a foot massage.
Yeah, which is a thing in and of itself. And he started kind of sucking his toes.
Yeah, because he had been drinking, and Roman did look like Rocky, and that opened up the conflict for ultimately Dennis to say, "I'm sorry, you just look so much like him."
Well,
then
I think that makes it worse, because now you've
It's
done
not
all
even
of that, and you've now, as a gay guy, made a pass at a guy you know is straight.
well, and it's at that point, it's not even like, "Hey, I'm into you." It's just, you remind me of your brother, and nobody wants to hear that, whether you're into it or not.
And I have actually had someone say that to me on a first date.
Yeah.
And that's why I did not have a second date on that one.
Yeah,
it was actually great. I mean, she and I got along great, but she's like, "You look way too much like my brother. It is never happening."
Yeah, I remember that story. So at that point, we have the separation between Dennis and Roman, and it looks like Roman toward the end reaches out to Dennis, and they meet up at a restaurant, and they have a very awkward conversation. So what would you do if you were Roman and you had been betrayed for like a year and a half with this guy bonding with you over your lost twin brother and how alone you feel, and then creating this relationship based on this identity of a twin that turns out to be fake?
So I think...
Would you let that go?
You logically, I mean, after you've beat the shit out of him, and it's later, and you've had a chance to think about this, you kind of have to think, okay, well, obviously my brother was the catalyst as to why we met. Now determine how much, because, I mean, at a certain point, obviously he knows you're straight, and it's never going to happen from a sexual perspective. So if he's continuing on... Dennis, in that relationship, it's because he really likes you as a person. And I think they bonded actually just as bros. And
that's what Roman ultimately asks is, do you think we would have been friends?
No, they would not have.
No.
Absolutely not.
It was the twin thing that got them.
Yeah, it was
together.
commonality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
they both lost a brother.
But
supposedly.
But sometimes that doesn't matter. Like, I've ended up being friends with people who, under normal circumstances, I would not have, because there was some commonality or something that brought us together.
But it was based in reality, right?
Usually.
Yeah, I mean, this one was...
Usually.
Oh, you've been the liar too?
I'm kidding.
Are you?
my joke fell flat there, apparently. Womp womp.
So, but this one was based... It's like... what was the movie with Finn Whitlock, the horror movie where they're at the camp? Do you know the movie I'm talking about?
We've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the teens are like that, and the guy's really into the girl, and she's a vegan. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a vegan," and she likes this.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh yeah, I like this." So.
Oh yeah, that was the Friday the 13th ripoff one.
Yeah, it was the Finn. What's his name? Finn Whitrock or whatever from Stranger Things, and he did this horror film. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, as a guy, you should know you all lie and say you're into stuff you're not.
So it's interesting
to create a bond, much like Dennis did.
You can, yes, for sure. I have at least two more points I want to cover. One is, like, I was sitting there thinking, like, if I'm Roman and I've got a friend who's gay, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Are you cool with putting yourself in a physical contact situation where, like, he's, like, you know that he probably feels something and you don't? But then I really thought about it from a different perspective. I mean, how often do you have, like, a guy and a girl together where one of them is just like, yeah, we're just friends, and the other one's like, maybe it could be more? And in that scenario, like, the only thing that's different is the fact that it's quote unquote possible. Whereas Roman, I mean, on the Kinsey scale, whatever, Roman is straight enough that it's never going to frickin' happen. So, like, we know that's not. But it's not too different between that situation. Like, at first I was like, that would be weird. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, not really. As long as everyone understands, like, this is what our line is. But then it gets really weird when you start sucking toes and that line gets crossed.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. Finn Wittrock, what I'm thinking of, that's actually from American Horror Story. Who I was trying to think of was Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things, and the movie was Hell of a Summer. So be sure to go and look at our past episodes for Hell of a Summer.
Yeah, good episode, not such a good movie, in my opinion. And I have one last, and I would not be Scott Gerhardt if I did not make this point, and it probably mostly went over your head, because why would you care about this?
Yeah, I don't care about those things.
I don't know how old Roman was, but...
It's this comment about his butt, because we saw a lot of his butt.
If you're Dennis, and you're sitting in what was probably Rocky's closet, and there's a whole bunch of stuff there, and Rocky's mom comes in and asks if you like Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
And she's going to give you a whole bunch of cards from when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
You freaking say yes.
Well, he did.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm confirming, because whether you care or not, that could be a lot of freaking money. Like, no, seriously, you have no idea how often something like that happens, where somebody might just give away a box that literally could be
I killed your son, and now I want to make money from selling his Pokemon cards.
No, I mean, like, literally, like somebody who doesn't know better, take these cards, and they could be worth 4, 5, upwards of 6 digits, like, worth of stuff. Like, here you go. So, I mean, don't give away your kids' cards, especially if it's been a while. There could legitimately be a lot. And this is coming from a guy who used to own a game store.
Yeah.
This is something I know very, very well.
Yeah.
Don't give them away. Just find someone who knows
and
who you
don't kill
trust.
anybody's son.
So,
or lure him into the street. Again, no ill intent. But
yeah. Luring people in the street's bad.
Look both ways.
We hope you enjoyed our episode. Thank you for listening. And to catch all the new episodes, please subscribe. We release 2 to 3 episodes weekly, so we'll have new content regularly. Until next time.